Welcome to the Free Idea Podcast. Once again, in Austin's traffic, the one and mighty me. Want to update on the video game, no news, no games, no this and that. So it's okay. I broke it a while ago. I play games, but I'm easing my way into it slowly. I think my maximum was like 19 days. But yeah, slowly playing video games on the phone, like applications, little silly games on the computer. Super simple, where you just upgrade a little thing and dig down into the ground and just keep upgrading your digging machine. A bunch of those where you just upgrade, and then you finish the game. You know what? You actually finish the game, and that feels satisfying. And there's glitches to exploit, and they're easy to find. I like those games. Those are fun. They're just fun. And so I'm easing my way into it. I don't plan to buy anything crazy like Call of Duty or Battlefield 6 because those require more of a commitment. Like a game like that, it requires you to at least have 30 minutes or to 20 minutes of actual time. And, it's just being an adult and a father. I don't have that time. I probably have 5 minutes at a time, maybe 10 maximum. But I gotta press start all the time and go check on the baby for this, for that, or, you know, there's times in between where I may have some time like that to carve out, but we all know nobody can just play one game of Battlefield and be satisfied with it. What if I lose? What if in those 20 minutes that I just spent, I just lose? Can't quit on a lose. Can't is the gamer rule, unwritten. You need to leave on a win. So that happens. So easing my way into it, and in the politics, not much there either. Um, I'm slowly easing into my old YouTubers that I like to watch, but trying to avoid the political videos that they make. Just kind of getting into the ones where they just do their actual thing, the one thing they became famous for. Have you noticed that a lot of our YouTubers that they were famous for a thing like video games, playing them or talking about technology or something. And they eventually evolve into politics. They may have like 10 politics videos and then one about video games. And that happens very frequently when I'm noticing that I don't really have any more older YouTubers from my time back from my day that I kept following that didn't evolve into some sort of politics. So I'm just watching the videos where they make about the actual content they used to make. And yeah, politics is entertaining. I get it, but it's just draining and there's no need for it. There's absolutely no need for it. First of all, if I'm watching that person, it's probably because I already agree in some regard. So it's not like I'm gonna see a whole different perspective. Um so yeah, still trying to avoid some things and then do others. That's the update there. Um it's rather fun to have a balance. I think that's what I really needed. I didn't need to take it out of my life entirely, but I needed to learn a balance. And I was too deep into it. I was too deep into both of them that there was no way to balance it out. The only way out was to quit cold turkey, and that's it. Kind of like resetting my body, resetting my my rewarding system in my brain. Just reset. I needed that. We would call it like a detox, like a dopamine detox. Uh, I call it a hate detox and video game detox. There was just so much of it, and it's been great. It's quite exhausting to filter through all the stuff that I can't allow myself, why I don't want to allow myself to watch. It is exhausting to go through the list of YouTube videos because YouTube will recommend me videos according to my myself, I guess, but not really. That's something that I've noticed. These platforms, at least YouTube as an example, we have the assumption that they recommend stuff because we watch it. And so it recommends more of it because we watch more of it. And I think that's not true anymore. I used to think so because I used to watch politics and video games. So I got recommended those too. But now I'm purposely not watching politics and I still get recommended so much of it. I'm avoiding videos with negative titles that start with, you know, can't believe this happened. No wonder this is happening. It's a disaster. It's finally happening. It's the little clickbaiting title. There's always one crisis. This is a crisis. You can't believe what president or political guy said next. Did Trump just say this? Trump was just caught doing just these titles, and I've been avoiding all of those. And I would expect YouTube to eventually learn that I'm avoiding those and clicking things that are totally random. With none of those titles, or clicking old YouTubers that just focus on pure entertainment, non-political, and that's not happening. I'm still getting recommended all that junk, and I go through lists and lists, just down scrolling to the point that I give up and I find nothing, nothing, nothing. It's all negative and current events, and sometimes I just quit YouTube. I'm like, you know what? Let me dig somewhere else. Let me. I've been listening to Audible, which it sucks because I also don't want to learn. I also don't want to listen to audiobooks, but there's nothing else I want to. If I wanted to listen for something just to get me through the boring tasks of life, like washing dishes, I might as well do it with an audiobook. It's not my, best first choice out there, but there's nothing else. I used to use um, Spotify, but also it's the same issue with Spotify people. They get into politics a little bit or current events. So like most of the podcasts are current events, and I don't want it. I want something with some good sauce in it. Something that even if I heard a snippet of it, I I got out of the day winning something. For example, right now, if I just listen to the Joe Rogan or Theo Von, they're entertaining. I, and I start washing dishes, I'm gonna like zoom out. And like 5 minutes in, I'm gonna realize that I'm actually hearing something. And then whatever that something I hear is gonna be random about aliens, drugs, pool, some joke here and there, conspiracy, etc. And if I'm listening to an audiobook, it's gonna be the same. I'm gonna zoom out, not even notice, and then when I catch myself up, it's like, wait a minute, what did that book just say? That phrase caught my attention. Let me rewind, or let me start paying attention from this on. He talked about so and so. So audiobooks are better, but in my experience, they're more draining because audiobooks actually teach you something or demand your attention to learn, to actually ask questions and let's learn about this new law of, whatever, the world, how it works, how relationships works, how etc. works. And it's just exhausting. So the least thing I want to do is feel exhausted after I wash dishes because I'm gonna feel even more so. But back to my issue, it's just there's nothing out there. What else can I listen to that is good? So uh, and somebody made this point on YouTube, as ironic as it sounds, that we have an issue, but not of lack of information. Sorry, not of lack of information or entertainment, or because we know there's an overabundance of it. Of course, there's like trillions of videos. Every time you go to YouTube and you refresh, there's new ones coming on. Like 10,000 people are making new stuff, like me right now. I'm adding to it. But the argument was that we do have an overabundance of all this information. So why do we always seek more? Why do we always look for more YouTube videos, for more podcasts, for more this, for more that? The argument that he made was that we actually have, um what do you call it, like the opposite, a drought, a underabundance of good sauce, of good content, information that matters. That's what we seek more and more and more and more, because what we're actually noticing is that there's less of actual gold out there. It's just air. And what we're craving is actual information. We're craving actual learning. And there's none of that out there. And that's something that I've noticed. If there's a free idea right here in this podcast is, look around you, look at the YouTube videos, at the content that you watch anywhere, whether it's apps on your phone, social media, Instagram, or stuff that you read. If you notice, you feel like you need more after you watch one of those. You feel like your void wasn't filled. Um, like, when is the last time that you watched a video where you were like, you know what, I'm gonna just put this video here while I wash the dishes. I don't even care about, I don't know, how they make donuts in that company. And then as you start watching, you're like, hold on, but this actually, let me stop washing dishes and listen to this. This is so good. Let me actually stop and just listen. Or let me actually just watch this on the screen. Let me put this phone right here in my face. And even harder to find is, when is the last time where you were watching something and you're like, wait a minute, let me just stop whatever I'm doing and watch this. Like, let me make this a special occasion where I'm gonna grab some popcorn, uh, whatever, and I'm gonna make my day around this video. Usually that happens when it's rare. When your favorite YouTuber finally makes a video after a long time, when your favorite season of such a show finally comes out, that's when you actually like stop doing something and go watch it. Um, when is the last time that you saw a documentary that you're like, let me stop what I'm doing and watch this? It's so good. Or I thought I was just gonna watch 10 minutes for this chore. I finished the chore. Now um I'm gonna continue. There's like 40 minutes left. I'm just gonna stop. I finished my stuff. I'm gonna watch this thing till the end. So when that happens, that's what I mean. Like, that has the good content. I like to call it a good sauce. It has something that hits the spot. Um, so that's what we're always looking for. Something that scratches the itch. And that itch could be, recently for me, that was watching videos on melting aluminum, because I'm planning to get a house soon and I would love to get back into that hobby I used to have. I used to just melt aluminum cans and put them in this muffin trays and make muffin aluminum nuggets. It was fun. Has absolutely no purpose other than just collecting metal. It was pretty shiny. I liked it. It was fire. It's fun. And it's pointless. But I caught myself watching a bunch of these videos because I wanted to get back into the hobby. And that caught my attention. It was, sorry. Oof. Driving for an hour is after 8 hours of work, and anyways, it caught my attention in a way that I hadn't in a while. And when I watched those other videos, when I just left wanting more. I was like, I lost track of time just watching video after video after video of melting aluminum, because I wasn't just watching it. just to watch and pass the time, like brain dead, where I don't even know what I watched for the past 2 hours. I was actually each video that I put on, I was looking at something different. Like, hey, maybe this guy he's using a different furnace, different fire method. He's using an air blower. This one is using a metal tube, a pipe. This one is not even using one that he just made. He bought this one. This is a store bought furnace. This one is a homemade furnace. And I started looking at that. Oh, look at this one. He has a bucket of water next to him. And this other guy has a plastic bucket. This one has metal. Finally, this one uses just gloves. And the other guy is actually using tools made to carry hot things, hot molds. Uh, and it was fun. And then I just went for a guy that just, I think his name is Big Stacker, and he's just stacking all these beautiful precious metals. And it was just, look, every video that I was watching, it was something to learn about it. And that's what made it entertaining because I was learning from each of the videos, not as a whole of the video, but each video had one additional new advice for me. Each video was telling me use this tool and you can use it this way. There's this other product you can use, etc. It's like learning a new hobby, and it was fun. It was entertaining, and that scratched the itch. That made me feel like, wow, I wish I had seen this sooner. I wish I had more time to keep looking at these videos. I wish I had my house sooner so I could start messing in the backyard with, furnace. It's not like I can mess with that in the apartment. Like, come on. You want me to put that in the balcony, a furnace that capable of melting aluminum? Just everybody walking there watching me wearing these thick fire resistant gloves and like a big can of what is that gas? Propane, just throwing a flame in the second floor. That's not no, that's not the right thing. They don't even allow you to barbecue in your thingy because of, fire hazard. And here I am, Mr. Fire Hazard, melting aluminum on the second floor. Like, look at me. Well, the rules didn't say that. The rules said no barbecuing. And they said, this is not meat, it's metal. You see, I don't want to be that guy. So, yeah, that was an interesting topic right there. I just learn as I go because I stopped doing all these YouTube videos and all this just brain dead stuff. And not gonna lie, it still happens. Sometimes I'm just killing time. And you know what? Changed after having a son. That time matters now more than ever. For a couple of reasons. One is because I have less of it, way less of it. And then two, it just matters more. Now that I have a son, it just feels like it's different. It's just death feels different. When I was young, it's like, I don't care, I'll die, whatever. Now that I'm older, it's like, wait a minute, I can just die. I have a family too. What happens if I do go? They need to sustain themselves. And to cut it short, because I feel like every man gets this feeling after they get a child, to cut it short, now I see my time as let's make the most of it for my family or myself. And if it's selfish to take care of me, it's because if I take care of me, I can have more to take care of them. So you see, it's interesting. It's a nice thing. It's a nice thing. I do like that. That happens when having children. It's an instant goal in life, instant purpose. Which I understand now why people, whenever their kids go away from the house, they feel empty and purposeless. You get the midlife crisis because you're back to like when you were a teenager or a 20-something young guy with no children and no responsibilities. You get back to that where it's like, damn, what's my purpose again? It's just get a job and eat and work and die. and marry. Like, yeah, you go back to that. Yeah, you find a different purpose after that. I feel like it's a little easier after the children because you can also look up to different things. But I kind of deviated there talking about the midlife crisis. Um, but yeah, time is more valuable now. Going back to it, watching stuff matters more. Exercise, health matters more. Being healthy matters a thousand times more. Driving in traffic safely and not getting into a car crash. It was okay in my mind. I'm a good driver. Now it's now it's more in my mind where it's like actively looking for dumbasses around me. Before it was like, I might be the dumbass driving. Now it's like, who is the that one out here that got their license from a cereal box? I don't understand why people don't get that joke. Like, come on. It wasn't that long ago when we had toys in cereal boxes. And I love that. Toys. I never bought a cereal box because they had toys. Like I never asked my parents. Maybe. Actually, maybe I actually did. Never mind. Those were fun times. I remember these cereal boxes used to have CDs. And then I'll put the CD in my computer and then boom, I could play a game. So here's an idea for cereals. I understand you cannot put toys in your cereals because people will choke on them, including adults and mainly adults. Let's be honest here. They're the ones suing, not the kids. So instead, just put a QR code inside of it, printed probably inside the cardboard, so you don't have like a piece of plastic there dangling around as a QR code. Um, and then you make it so that when somebody opens the cereal box and like breaks the box apart, you scan the QR code and you get a price. And the price could be, a free game download on your website where you can do so and so. The difference is you can already do this and download some app from a company that it's like super, like the way government websites look and it's not fun at all. So maybe you can team up with Steam or some fun app out there already in the App Store, whether it's Android or Apple. And when you scan this app, you get this game for free. Could be like $1 game. Unfortunately, there's not that many of those dollar games anymore. But you can make it in maybe for every 5 QR codes you scan, one has the winning chance of getting a $5 app game. And then boom, you go and you get it. That's an idea. Another idea, partner up with what's that game that everybody loves? Fortnite. And have that same idea QR code inside the box. You scan it, you get, I don't know, 100 V-Bucks or 1,000 V-Bucks. Give him something, 200 V-Bucks, or give him a special skin, even like that costume of your cereal. For example, it's a skin of, um, let me think. You buy Choco Krispies, Kellogg's, right? Or the chicken guy. And then the skin in Fortnite is an elephant or it's a chicken with a K as a superhero. Boom. Right there, that alone is gonna start, kids. This teenagers, I would do it. There's adults, like if I was a teenager in college and I'm like, hey, there's this Fortnite skin you can get only by buying this Kellogg cereal. I'm like, dude, I already eat cereal. I'm a college student. Let me get that thing. And I'll have a skin and it'll be fun. And I'll tell my friends and they'll be like, yeah, let's all just like dressed up as the Kellogg's chicken. And boom. I never thought about why the Kellogg's mascot is a chicken. if it's flattened corn and dry and crispy. Because I guess chickens eat corn, but you know, it's not made out of chicken. That's probably why they removed the mascot later on. I remember precisely that it used to be a chicken. Um, I don't think it is anymore. Maybe that's Matthew's law or whatever that law used to be called. When you think that something used to be one way, and when you look it up, it's never been that way, but you remember precisely that it used to be that way, and everybody in the world does. They usually do it with Pikachu. They say Pikachu used to have a black tip in the tail. Murphy's Law, I think is what it's called. Then people look it up and it's like, wait a minute, Pikachu never had a black tip at the tail. What are you talking about? But I remember that he did, or black pointy or something like that. It's a peculiar, fun little rabbit hole to get into. Um, hey, I thought this episode wasn't gonna have any free ideas, but turns out it does. Turns out it does have some good free ideas. Cereal boxes, QR codes for apps, skins, team up. Businesses out there, I gotta tell you this. You gotta modernize. You gotta bite the bullet and say, my times are done and gone. I'm old and alone. Well, maybe not the last part. With all these millions for me. And then you need to get with the young and be like, oh, you guys like Fortnite? That's right. Let me sell their stuff in Fortnite. Let me make skins, partner it up with them. What else do young people like? Roblox, boom. What else? TikTok, boom. It's just you gotta modernize, and I think it's easy. Another another thing that I've noticed, and it's a good, cool, interesting, and sad idea. Um, we all know this. We never get any younger, and the old people back in the day were my age now. You know, the old people I used to look at that were my age. I'm them. I'm that. I'm that guy. I'm that sir at the store at the Walmart. I'm the adult in the room. And my parents, they used to be the adults in the room, and they would look at the older people and they would be like, yeah, they're old. They're dying. I get it. They live their life. And they used to be the grandpas out there, right? They used to be the adults. Our parents used to be the adults. They would look at the grandpas as the grandpas. And now our parents are the grandpas. They're the old. And they look at themselves and they say, man, where is all the old people going? They're all dying off. And then they stop and think, wait a minute, the old people is us. We are the ones now. So where I'm getting at is there used to be a time where I would look at the news and at the shows of how it's made and like incredible educational videos out there, government made or whatever made. We look super official with all the scientists and people with lab coats and talking about, Bill Nye, the science guy, like this type of people that teach us stuff. And it was fun. Um, and I asked myself, where are those people now? Where are they? And I look at these YouTube videos now, like there's this really gold nuggets out there. There was one where it was explaining in YouTube, like, where does all this gold, just explaining gold. Why do we like gold? Where does it come from? Asteroids, from Earth, from outer space, smashed the Earth, and that there's some gold in there. Explaining how it came to be and the gold digging rush and all that, etc. Uses of gold, fiat money, and he was like talking to actual experts. And the video was very professionally made. Very. You could tell when it's professionally made. And I thought at that very moment, that is the adult. That is the adult that when I was a kid, I would look up to and be like, that's the expert. That's the Bill Nye of my generation. And so I watch his videos and I'm thinking, the adults of today are looking at that adult right there and learning a lot from him. what do the kids think? If they were to see his video by accident, and I'm sure there are kids out there who are smart cookies who don't feel like they are um, really connect with their age group and they're more of an old soul. I bet those kids are looking at those videos and being like, "Whoa, that is, that's the adult that actually teaches me stuff." That's the one that I'd say to myself, "Why do I even go to school when I could just watch his videos and learn a lot?" And well, my next point is we are those adults. That adult is probably my age. If anything, maybe a little older or a little younger. We are them. All the adults back of our days where I'm asking where are they? The Bill Mag we can all remember and we can still see where he's at. But there's a bunch of no names out there that I may have switched the channel and boom, I saw something fun about gooey stuff and etc. Nameless people that famous in their own circle, but not too popular where I got to remember their name. But they still taught me something. And my point is, we are the adults now. We are those people that are here to teach the next generation, like me speaking here in this Spotify podcast. Um, and so I look around and I see nobody when that adult is me. I am the person who teaches the generation, or at least as an idea, or as an essence, or as a um, argument, ideal. I don't know what to call it. Like maybe I'm not that guy right now, but as a metaphor, I could be that guy. Like anybody around my age group could be that guy that teaches the next generation, literally. And I know we are doing it, maybe not as much. But my other point is, um, I know there's people out there that think when it's my turn, or me, when is it my turn to get famous and teach the next generation? When is it my turn to appear on TV and then have my 5 minutes of glory and fame and then skyrocket from there? And I think, well, how did the Bill Knight did it? How did the how it's made guy did it? How that show it was so fun. How did so and so did it? What's the other guy? The guy that did reptiles and stuff, Darwin or something. Australian guy. Oh my god, this is a four. Stop. Let me see who's next. All right, that guy and then me. All right. Okay, this is a tricky one. Four stop signs. Anyways, um, I lost my train of thought there. Where was I? Oh yeah, so how were they made? Well, maybe they were just doing their stuff and they get lucky, and the study that it gets muddy. Some of them get lucky, some of them work at it, and then boom, they landed on it. The point is that they were making something happen. Just hold on a little bit. I need to open this door. All right. And so instead of being silly and selfish, or I'd say dumb, just waiting for my moment to happen or my opportunity or when is it my turn, I'm looking at my generation or the next generation is getting older. All those teachers of society are getting older and there's a vacuum to fill. In essence, that vacuum must be filled by us, the newer generation, because we connect with the younger people a lot easier, mostly because we lived in it not long ago. Um, and so the point that I'm trying to make here is we are those adults. Uh, it's our turn. The spotlight is on us. It always was. It still is for the older generation and the younger generation, but it's easier for us. What I'm saying is, if there's a window of opportunity to become the next lighthouse for generations to come, it's like at the middle age. It's like right there at your 30s, 20s, 30s, and 40s, around there. Because there's only so much fame to go by or so much attention to capture that most of the older people are retiring as they go, or they make less content as they go, or they catch less people because they're less relevant, whatever. Or they get tired, they retire from it. Well, it's our turn now. It's much easier for us now because there's more of that attention available. People are still hungry for that sauce, that good information, and it's on us to deliver it. And we have the time, the money, the resources, the experience that not too far away from the younger people to understand how to deliver it, just like me on this podcast. Um, and so it's sort of you know, it's easy. It's like when you were a kid and you're like, man, I wish I was buying a house when I was 7 years old. That was the time to buy a house. Now they're like, damn. Like, like when is the last good time to buy a gold? It was probably when I was 5 years old. That was the time to buy a gold. Now, if I try to buy a gold, it's $4,000 an ounce. But back then, it was probably like 3 popsicles and one piece of gum. Um, so you know, back then it was easy. Now it's hard for those things. What I'm trying to say is, if it's about teaching the next generation and I give quality content, it's never too late and it's never too early. But for those of my age, this is the time when it gets easier. After that, it gets harder. Before that, it gets harder. But this is like that sweet spot, I feel. By, 25 to 30 to 40, around that age is when I feel like you're not too old, not too young. You still you're able to grasp ideas from both sides a little bit and communicate them. You're still in the in. You still catch some of the old sayings and some of the new youngster sayings. You still catch some of those meanings. Um, so I guess it's a little bit of a motivation of um, if you ever felt like you wanted to show something out there to the world and teach, be the next traveler that tries food, the next um how it's made guy, the next, I don't know, whatever it was, the next Bill Nye. This is the time. People, it's always a time, but you get my idea. No rush, no pressure. Just do it at your own pace. Like, I'm just saying, this, it could be easier right now. That's all. But if you don't feel it right now, you don't feel it right now. Don't do it right now. Because if you don't like it, people out there won't like it either. It shows through the screen. Um, yeah, so I'll end it there. Those were some nice, good ideas there. A little bit of my, you know, wisdom passed on. It's just fun to talk. I got a long way to get home, so there's that. I'd love to keep speaking, but I've given you plenty of sauce. I'll leave it there. Thank you for listening. Um, really, thank you for listening. It's been fun.